Hey everybody, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Niddleman. Today I'm bringing you a spoiler-free movie review for the movie Passengers, starring Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. Now I gotta be a little bit careful when I talk about the plot to this movie because there is one plot device that happens about 20 to 30 minutes into this movie that if I mention could be considered a spoiler because it's not really in the trailers and in a bunch of synopses it's not mentioned, but at the same time if I mention it, it's not really a spoiler because it has been publicly announced that this plot device happens, but to save all the angry comments, I'm going to go ahead and just not mention that plot point. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see the movie. You'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't see that in the trailers. Okay, interesting. But, man, I got torn to shit when I did my Collateral Beauty movie review because I didn't mention everything that wasn't mentioned in the trailers and how the trailer deceived what the movie was. This plot device I don't really think makes the trailer deceiving what the movie is about, but it does change a little bit about what you think kind of happens with it. Anyways, point of the movie is that there takes place way in the future. You got the planet's way overpopulated, so they're shooting off onto all sorts of planets, and like all over the place. This particular spaceship is going on about a 120-year-long journey. Everyone's asleep in their cryogenic chambers, whatever the hell, and something happens and Chris Pratt wakes up too early and he's like, what the fuck, man? And he's basically surviving on his own for a while, and then next thing you know, in the movie Jennifer Lawrence is in there and now it's both of them trying to survive on this ship, and it's okay, it's an okay movie. I don't think that this is a terrible movie, but I definitely don't think it's a good movie either. It's right in the middle because the first half of the movie is really slow, and I think it's supposed to be because it's supposed to give you that idea of how boring it is to survive on the ship, why you'd would go crazy just walking around the spaceship for 90 years until you die of old age. And the second half of the movie knows that the first half was so boring, so they put a bunch of action in there, and stuff's going wrong with the ship, and they're trying to do stuff to fix it, and other stuff happens. And it just kind of it felt like it didn't really know what it wanted to be. Did it want to be like a thinking man, slow-paced, sci-fi kind of romantic drama, or did it want to be like an action sci-fi piece? It didn't really know, and you could kind of feel that. And for me, it just, by the end of the movie, I was really disappointed with the ending because then it's one of those movies that just kind of ends and you're like, meh, and so, but as far as the pros go, I really did like the visuals. I thought I saw it in 3D. I thought all the scenes in space when they're like out walking around in their spacesuits and stuff, the visuals looked really cool, and even the end credit scenes, they just have some things of space, and it just looks cool in 3D. I liked that, but honestly, you don't need to see this movie in 3D. It is nothing special. Most of it's on the inside with flat, boring metal siding and stuff of a spaceship. There's nothing you really need to see it for in 3D, other than a couple cool scenes. Also, I really enjoyed the chemistry between Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. I think they're very good actors and actresses, and they felt like they meshed well. Now, this movie is also Jennifer Lawrence's first sex scene, but don't get too hyped about that because the sex scene is one of those really lame, quick, you see it from here up kind of sex scenes, and it's nothing to be too hyped up about. Now, other than that, Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie, and he is fucking awesome. I've loved him ever since The Matrix. So when he is in this movie, he's one of those actors that just elevates it. Every scene he was in, I was like, oh man, I got the most engaged in this movie when he was in it. But the problem is, he's in it for this long. He's not in the movie very much, but that really bummed me out. I think he should have been one of the main characters because he's fucking awesome. So, that's really all this movie is. It's a pretty straightforward movie. You get most of it. Honestly, they actually show most of this movie in the trailer now that I think about it. And there's only missing one little plot device, which may or may not be a spoiler that I'm not going to mention. And I'm going to have to give this movie a one-night stand. It's really nothing special, not bad, but not great. You'll never want to see it again. Alright guys, so you more excited to see this one or Assassin's Creed, or are you just saying, fuck it, I'm going to go see Star Wars Rogue One again? That's probably a better idea this weekend. Alright guys, so remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, basically everything at Niddleman. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You get updated reviews every single week. If you can handle it, go.